All right, Red and Whites, welcome back to the Ugly Side. Now, tonight we saw Liverpool win 4-3 at Anfield, and which put them through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. What does that mean for Saints in the league now, Nick?
Well, it's actually good for Saints. I mean, I know that due to the last couple of summers and transfer dealings, that Saints fans haven't got a lot of time for Liverpool. I mean, there's been a change there. I mean, Brendan Rodgers, the man who behaved a little bit despicably back in the last two summers, is gone, and Jurgen Klopp's in. But what it means for Saints now is that really Saints supporters have got to be glad that they're through. Liverpool's focus now is going to be on the Europa League a little bit more than the league, and it's given them 2 extra games that they've got to play between now and the end of the season. So it's virtually giving them a little bit of a fixture pile up. So they're going to go for that because that's a Champions League place. And if they get the Champions League place, that could make it a little bit easier for Saints to get into the Europa League themselves. But it showed. I mean, Dortmund wanted that game very, very badly. And it was a quality and a classic game. You know, again, Saints fans probably won't want to admit that. But it's done Saints good. You know, it's given Liverpool a fixture pile up, which they're ill-equipped to deal with at the moment.
Reflecting back on Tuesday night, actually, Man City beat PSG to go through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. And if they go on to win the Champions League, that means there will be a position knocked down into the league for Europa League. Do you think that's another door open for Saints?
If Manchester City get it in the Champions League places as it stands at the moment, because it's very, very complicated. And as I understand it, if Manchester City win the Champions League, then it takes a place away from the league standings. But if Manchester City get into the Champions League, then, and they're not in the top 4, it will reduce down to 3 in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly confident on that. That's the case now. So from that point of view, it would probably give Manchester City great joy to win the Champions League, finish 5th in the Premier League, and see Manchester United finishing 4th and then not getting in the Champions League. But this has been the subject of much debate on the message board on the Ugly Inside lately about what the league means, and the popularist view seems to be that if Manchester City win the Champions League and don't finish in the top 4, then it reduces the places down to 3. Whereas if Liverpool win the Europa League, that is a separate competition with a separate prize as such of the Champions League place. So you know, if both teams win it, for argument's sake, it won't. If, for argument's sake, take the scenario that Manchester City finish 5th and win the Champions League, and Liverpool finish 6th and won the Europa League, that would not give us 6 teams in the Champions League. However, if Manchester City finish 4th and won the Champions League, then they would be in the Champions League anyway. There'd still be 4 teams. They wouldn't move the Champions League place down a place to 5th. Manchester City would just be in. So best scenario for Saints is probably Manchester City to win the Champions League, possibly just to shut Manchester United up, and then Liverpool to win the Europa League, which could then possibly, assuming Manchester United won the FA Cup, which it really pains me to say this now, we need them to do. It could bring the places down to 8th for the Europa League place.
All of these results and all these scenarios aside, can we qualify?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, West Ham go to Leicester on Saturday or Sunday, or at the weekend anyway. If West Ham get beat at Leicester, which again, any self-respecting Saints fan is hoping for, because you would not want Tottenham Hotspur to win the league. If they go there and lose, and we go to Everton and win, suddenly we're in the driving seat against West Ham, and then we're going to Villa away. Villa will hopefully, Villa will perhaps hopefully be still up when we get to Villa, because I think they've got Manchester United this weekend. So if they were still not relegated, that would mean they'd won at Manchester United. So that would be good for us, even though we'd have to play them in a bit of a high. But as you said before, we can't rely on other teams in the fact that we've got to win our own games and then hope we get a stroke of luck. I don't think we can finish fourth, although I think Manchester City will blow up a little. I don't think we'll finish fifth, but I do think we'll finish sixth, which will be enough for a European place.
Well, there you have it, guys. Realistic targets for the Saints. Let us know in the comments, what are your targets for the end of the season? Who are we banking on for us to qualify in Europe? If you like the video, drop it a like and subscribe to the channel.